Welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to be replacing the hydraulic booster on a Dodge Ram 3500. Pretty much all the Dodge Cummins engines are the same thing. So some prep information. When you replace these, you also need to replace the brake light switch. I've seen a lot of people, they comment different things. Well, my brake lights are staying on all the time. The rod's the wrong length. Well, no, it's not. Unfortunately, Dodge makes this a one-time use brake switch. Okay, so whenever you disconnect it and there's no pressure on it at all, you have to replace this switch. And you notice it says right on there, do not reinstall. There's a little thing on the side. When you get this switch, you don't want to move it. So once this is in place and everything's hooked up, then you flip that switch and it will set. And once it's set, you know, it will work right. Now, they're not that expensive, you know, but I don't know why they just don't include them with the hydraulic boosters or offer it as an option, but they don't. So at any rate, we're going to go ahead and get to it. We're going to go start to finish, right down to bleeding it. And you will see everything you need to do. So let's get started. Okay, so standing back looking, your truck is probably not going to look this way unless you've got a lot of upgrades. Just a moment, if you do anything with these trucks, I have tons of videos on everything. I got tons of upgrades. We got everything from rear ends, rebuilding the transmissions, the NV5600, brakes, water pumps, you name it, we got it. But I have a lot of upgrades, and as you can see, I got compound turbos and water methanol, but that's what all this crap is here. So yours is probably not going to have this. You'll have a little bit more room. Wires all over the place. They look a little bit messy, but you know how it is. Anyway, first thing we got to do is, and you notice too, you won't have this battery cable coming here. So I relocated my battery to the back, and I have my air intake up front there. And it made sense to me. I see so many people, they did this, they put their air intake in the back. Well, that's absorbing all the heat from the engine. If you have it up front, I'm drawing 100% air right off of the front of the truck. So that's why I did that. So I got another video on that too if you'd like to see it. But at any rate, what you got to do, first thing we got to do is we got to remove the brake master cylinder reservoir. So if you look down in here, there's just two bolts, one on each side. So we remove those two bolts, and then we want to wiggle this out and get it away from the hydraulic booster. So we're going to do that first, and when you wiggle it, don't pull on the plastic. Reach down underneath and grab the metal part and pull it out. So take those two bolts loose, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so that's loose. As you can see down in there, there's oil dripping out of it. That's where they go bad. There's seals inside that start leaking oil. Now, you can rebuild these yourself. I've done them before, and I've had, you know, some good luck and some bad luck. So I decided this time I'm just going to buy a new one. There's just a couple O-rings inside that go bad and they leak the fluid, and you can take them apart and rebuild them. But for this one, we're just going to replace it. So next thing we got to do is unhook all the fluid lines. So you have also, I should have mentioned that there's a bracket here that just bolts on in front of the master cylinder, and it just supports one of the hydraulic lines. So you have three basic lines. Let's see if I get them in the picture there. There's one that's just clamped on, that's a return line. And then you have a supply line back there, and you have a supply line up here on top. Okay, so it's easier to take those loose while it's still bolted up and we have some kind of support. So we want to take those lines loose, and you probably want to put something underneath of it in case oil drips out. So, you know, I usually just stick a pan or something underneath of it. So we're going to do that next, and then we'll move on. Okay, so then we move inside after we got the lines loose. And as you can see, there's a rod going out here to your brake pedal going through the firewall. There's 2 bolts on the right and there's 2 bolts on the left. You can take a look at the new one and give you an idea where it's at, but we got to remove those. I removed my bottom cover too. You can get to them without it, but it gives you a little more room. There's just 3 screws in the bottom, and the top clips off of the cover where that goes under your steering column. So we take those 4 nuts off, and then we should be able to wiggle the thing out. So we're going to do that next, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so the last thing we got to take loose inside, you can see that's the rod that goes through the wall there, and it's got a little spring clip on it. And what you got to do is just take a screwdriver and stick it up in the edge. You kind of got to lay down and look at it, but you pop that little clip out, and then you can move the rod off of your brake pedal. So we're going to do that next, and then we'll go outside and wiggle the thing out. There should be nothing holding it, and we can take it right out. So it's out. So last thing you got to do before you reinstall is there's a plate right here. You can tell there's 2 bolts in it, and you can see there's just, they give me 2 bolts with a new one. So we just unbolt it, simply unbolt that spacer, the plate, and bolt it on the other one. Then we're going to stick it back down in place, and we're going to bolt it back up to the firewall. So that'll be the next step, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so with that all bolted in, next thing we want to do is hook up our lines, our power steering lines. So we do that first with the reservoir out of the way, give us a little more room. And after we do that, we're going to move inside and tackle the brake switch. So we're going to get the lines hooked up, then we're going to bolt our reservoir back up to it, and then we're going to move inside and get our brake switch done. So hold on and we'll see how to do that. Okay, so the last couple things we got to do. Don't forget to put your washer back in your snap lock. Now, with this brake switch, you can see it real easy from the front here. And what it does is it's got these little clips, see? So you just twist it and it pops out. So you can twist it, pop it out, and then it's got the slide lock for the plug. Unplug it, and once you have your rod back in, then you can flip this switch on there and it will set. So your brakes should work correctly. Then what you want to do is you want to jack up the front end, make sure the power steering reservoir is full, and turn the wheels back and forth. Do this first. The reservoir is, the power steering pump reservoir is, it's all self-priming. In other words, there's no priming involved with it, but it will have air in the lines because you've taken everything loose. So once you've turned the wheels back and forth, 5 or 6 times, you don't hear any more noise, check the fluid again, and then step on the brakes a couple times and check the fluid again, make sure it's full. And you may notice for a day or two, or your first part of the driving, that you hear a little bit of noise out of it. some of this is just the air getting out of it. So, you know, drive for a little while, check it again, and you should be good to go. But I hope this video helps you out. And like I say, we have tons of videos on these Dodges, so be sure to subscribe and take a look at the other videos that we have. You have a pleasant day, and thank you for watching.